Hello everyone, JRDeal96 here with a brand new unboxing, and as you can tell by the title, it is a big one. And that is the Nintendo Switch 2. I honestly cannot believe I have a Nintendo Switch 2. You're probably wondering, how did I get this? Isn't it sold out everywhere? Yes, that's true. Well, I'm kind of surprised at the fact that I actually got this opportunity in the first place. Now, the way I ended up getting one was through this event that Nintendo was having at their Nintendo store in New York City. They were having what they called a Nintendo Switch 2 shopping session, where they picked through a lottery a specific amount of people. It was kind of similar to how they did the hands-on experience for the Nintendo Switch 2 back in April. And honestly, I just threw my name in the hat and said, alright, whatever. And then maybe a couple days later, I wake up and I get an email from Nintendo saying that you have been selected. And I honestly could not believe it. So I ended up being one out of the 150 people that they selected for the June 15th event for the Nintendo Switch 2 shopping session at the Nintendo store in New York. So I ended up getting a Warp Pipe Pass for this event. And the thing was, they were only allowing people that had a Warp Pipe Pass for this event to buy a Nintendo Switch 2. They were only selling Nintendo Switch 2s to them only. So finally the day came, and honestly, it was so surreal. Just to be in there, to actually buy a Nintendo Switch 2. Obviously, I was concerned that they may not have any available, or they would all sell out before it was my turn to buy anything. But luckily, I got one. It's been like over 12 hours since I bought this, and I am still in disbelief. It's just like, what? Pinch me, I must be dreaming here. Now, before I get to this unboxing of the Switch 2 itself, you're probably wondering, did I get anything else while I was at the Nintendo store in New York? No, but I actually pre-ordered a couple of Nintendo Switch 2 accessories alongside Mario Kart World through GameStop. So the two accessories I ended up getting was a Nintendo Switch 2 Pro Controller and the Nintendo Switch 2 camera. And of course, I got Mario Kart World as well. So what do I start unboxing now? Jeez. Honestly, I don't even know where to begin here. I have so many things in front of me that I want to start opening right now. You know what? Let me start off with the accessories first. So we're going to start off with the Nintendo Switch 2 camera, since this is the newest feature for the Nintendo Switch 2, which is Game Chat, which is essentially a voice chat, kind of like PlayStation and Xbox, which is a welcome addition to Nintendo because they didn't really have this on the older consoles. So here is a USB-C cable to connect your Switch 2 camera to your Nintendo Switch 2. And here is the Nintendo Switch 2 camera. It's not like a bendable thing, like the only thing you can move is the camera itself. And you can also rotate this little piece here to cover or uncover the camera lens here. And then there's this little clip right here for the USB-C cable. And at the very bottom of the base, you have the Nintendo Switch 2 logo right there. So now, let's move on to the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro Controller. So here is the charging cable for the Switch 2 Pro Controller right here. And in here is the new Nintendo Switch 2 Pro Controller. Like, I know the Switch 1 Pro Controller is compatible with Switch 2, but I felt like getting a new Pro Controller anyway. Oh man, wow. This looks pristine and clean looking. Wow, look at this. So you have the Switch 2 logo right here. So you have the minus button, the plus button, the capture button, the home button, the game chat button, the D-pad, the right analog stick, the left analog stick, the X, Y, A, and B buttons, the R, ZR, and L and ZR buttons on top with the sync button right there with the USB port right there. And on the back you have these new buttons here called the GL and GR buttons, which you can map certain actions to those buttons. And at the very bottom, you have a headphone jack for the game chat. Let's compare the new Pro Controller with the original Switch Pro Controller. Like, the biggest difference I notice is the way that the minus and plus buttons are on the Switch 2 Pro Controller compared to the Switch 1. It looks like an actual button, and it's not like a flat button. And that's the other thing I notice. It's a lot more quieter on this one. You don't hear it so loud compared to the Switch 1. I do like the way that this controller looks. This is probably the cleanest that it will ever look. Alrighty, let's quickly do Mario Kart World. Oh wow, that looks cool. On the inside you have all these pictures and artwork of all the characters in Mario Kart. So here is the Switch 2 game cartridge. I'll put a better picture of it on screen right now. It's obviously similar to the Switch 1 cartridge, but the major difference is that it's red instead of black. Alrighty, so now let's get to the main course of this whole unboxing. So let's finally unbox the Nintendo Switch 2. Voila! Oh man, let's do the Joy-Cons first. So here's the left Joy-Con right here. So you got the normal buttons here on the left Joy-Con. You have this button right here to release the Joy-Con from the Switch 2 because they connect magnetically this time, unlike the Switch 1 where you had to slide it in like that. It looks really, really cool overall. And then here is the right Joy-Con. So let's compare the size of the Joy-Con to the original Switch 1. So on the right, you have the Switch 1 Joy-Con, and on the left, you have the Switch 2 Joy-Con. Slightly bigger. So now we need to get the important stuff out first, like this HDMI cable and these straps for your Joy-Cons, as well as a Joy-Con grip. Boom, just like that. So this is what the Joy-Con grip looks like with the Switch 2 Joy-Cons right here. And if I wanted to remove them, I press the button on the back. Voila, just like that. So now I want to compare this to the Joy-Con grip from the Nintendo Switch 1. Obviously, it's slightly bigger. So honestly, I'm probably not going to use this because mostly I'm going to be using my Pro Controller. Obviously, it's way different compared to the Nintendo Switch 1's dock. You take this back piece out to connect the AC adapter here, the HDMI cable here, and then the LAN for Ethernet. Then right here, you have two USB ports right here. Alright, so finally, here is the Nintendo Switch 2 console itself. So it's red on the right side and blue on the left side to indicate which Joy-Con is which. You have a USB-C port right here, and then a USB-C port on the top, with a headphone jack, a microphone, the power button and the volume buttons. And then right here you have the slot for the game cartridges. Alrighty, so now let's put in the Joy-Cons themselves. Boom. And here it is, the Switch 2 in all its glory. And I forgot to mention this weird ass kickstand. It's this long U shape for the kickstand. It's obviously way different than the Switch 1's kickstand. Like, the kickstand for the Switch 1 was absolutely flimsy as hell. Easily breakable. I think mine broke like twice. It was the flimsiest fucking kickstand on the goddamn planet. So now, let's compare the sizes of the Switch 1 to the Switch 2. Obviously, it's slightly bigger than the Switch 1. But now I want to compare the size of the Switch 2 to the Steam Deck. So here is my Steam Deck that I rarely use because the only thing I use this Steam Deck for is to play emulated games on here, like old PS1 and GameCube and Wii games on here. And the fact that the Switch 2 has outsold the Steam Deck within the first 4 days of its launch is absolutely insane. So here's the Switch 2. I feel like they're kind of like the same height when you stand them upright, but the Steam Deck is a teeny bit bigger compared to the Switch 2. This is absolutely surreal. I cannot believe I actually have a Nintendo Switch 2 in my hands. So now, finally, for the moment of truth, let's turn on the Nintendo Switch 2. Nintendo! Nintendo Switch 2. Now it wants me to know what language I'm going to be setting this console. Okay, I gotta connect to the internet. Alrighty, got the internet connected. About to download update data. You can continue setting up while the update downloads. Update data is downloading. With Nintendo Switch 2, you can play games wherever you want, however you want. The system can stand on whatever angle you like. Just pull out the rear stand. You can now connect the AC adapter to the top of the system. Obviously, you can see it's downloading an update right now. Now the only other thing I gotta do is transfer my data that I have on my Switch 1 to my Switch 2. Okay, now it's saying system transfer right here. So now I gotta start system transfer. Okay, so now I have to go to my Switch 1 and go to a setting that has Nintendo Switch 2 transfer. Here we go. 17 minutes. 10 minutes. Okay. So now it's kind of like speeding up a little bit. This is so exciting. The system is about to restart. 25%. It's transferring the data. Setup complete. Press the home button. Boom! Just Just like that. And what do you know? Look, I have Animal Crossing New Horizons, Sky Children of the Light, Nintendo 64 Classics, Power Wash Simulator, YouTube, NES, Super Mario Odyssey, Game Boy, Metroid Prime, No Man's Sky, Grand Theft Auto. I got all my games on here. Obviously, I'm going to have to buy myself an SD card in order to have enough space to put all my software that I have on my Switch 2 as well, because I have a lot. So anyways, overall, that is really it on my unboxing of the Nintendo Switch 2. I honestly cannot wait to start playing on it. It's going to be awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed today's unboxing. If you like what you saw here, hit the like button, subscribe, share this video with your friends. Be sure to ring that bell to be part of the notification squad. Be sure to check out my Instagram because I make cool hits Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, even myself. I also act as a cosplays on there, so go check it out. And be sure to check out my Tumblr and my Discord in the description as well. So until next time, JRDL96 signing out. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.